Okay, so today's session we'll be learning how to authenticate our React application using Google Firebase Authentication. So on the last class, I was able to get you guys familiar with the whole Firebase concept and the whole idea of Firebase. So I won't really be discussing or start defining what Firebase is and all the rest. So we just go straight to what we are going to be doing today. So now, going to the Firebase page on our go to console page. Basically, what we are starting with is creating a Firebase app. Then we can now connect it to our React application. So if you have a Google account, which is your Gmail account, all you need to do is when you go to your firebase.com, you see the go to console tab on your navbar. When you click, it takes you to this page where you add or you create a project. So you just click on the add projects button. So the name of our project is going to be React Auth. So now it creates this project, now React Auth. Then you click on the confirm, continue buttons. You can decide to enable Google Analytics. You can decide not to. Depends. Here you select the account you want to use. Basically, my default account is what I'll be using. Then you wait for the project to create. Now our project is ready to be used. But that doesn't mean you cannot start using Firebase Authentication. The next step we need to do now is to trigger the authentication features. So we go over to the authentication tab. Now, since we are using Google Auth for this project, you click on the Google ad, you enable it. You select your email address, which you want to use. Now, our Google provider is being enabled. We can use it in our projects. Now, when you go to this user, it's basically empty because no one is logged in yet, which means we have not actually connected the React application to the Firebase authentication. So that's why on this user, we are seeing no user for this project yet. So now the next thing you need to do is go to project setting. Not project setting, I guess. Yeah, go to project overview rather. You click on the add project. You guys can see I click on the add project where we are going to generate our project configuration, which we'll be using in our React application to tell that, okay, yes, this project has been created in the Firebase account using this configuration. This is because you can have so many projects in your Firebase. Like you guys saw on my own dashboard, you saw a lot of projects which I've done. So in order to target the actual projects which you want your authentication or your users' information or whatever to be stored, you need to now create a project, because you can create for iOS app, for Android, and for web. Basically, we are for web. So we'll be creating a web app. So you click on the web, you write the name of your project again, which is still React Auth. No, we are not using Firebase hosting, so there is no point. So you just register your app. Now it generates all this. Now what this is telling you now is, in your app now, you need to install your npm Firebase, your import initializations, your get analytics, and all the rest. This is the config which we are trying to generate for our React app. So you continue. You don't really need, like, you can copy it here if you want to, but if you don't, you can still continue to your console. What you just need to do is, now, since it has been created, you just, now you can see our React Auth is now on this project overview page.
Please, what did you click that brought us to this page?
I didn't get your question, you say?
What did you click that brought us to this page?
It's project overview.
Okay.
Project overview, yeah. So now on your project overview, or you can go to, no settings for now. Now on your project overview, but there are times when you have a multiple projects. From these settings, you can just see list of all the apps you have. But now, since it's just this one we have on this particular project, which is the React Auth, it's just this one we are seeing here now. So when you click on this React Auth, click on settings. Now it takes you to this, your project dashboard, where you can see that same thing that was generated for us when creating this project. You can see how the steps, your npm install Firebase, your Firebase configurations for your apps, and all the rest. So this is basically what we need to do now on the Firebase app. So this is all we need to do in order to work with Firebase. So the next thing we are going to do is go over to our React application. Since we already have our router being installed on this, our application, so there is no point installing React router anymore. So all I just need to do is create a new terminal. Go here, copy this, and install in our project. This one is now using the node npm, but you can, assuming this was a HTML CSS application, there is CDN for it, which you can just copy and then paste on your index.html. So after that, we go to our src folder. We create a file called firebase.js. What this file does is where we save all these our configurations. We paste it there. So on this stage now, Firebase is now added to our application, though it's still installing, it's not done installing. But at this point, if our NPN successfully runs, Firebase is now being added in our application. All we just need to do is go to our index.html and import this is the next thing we need to do. But right now, we haven't created our form yet, where we'll be actually calling these Firebase methods and all the rest. So in our component, we just create a login. It's supposed to be a page actually, but let me just make it a component. On our app.route, we import so all I'm just trying to is to modify our login page. Now back to our app.js. We import the login component. Login, and we register it in our route. You guys already know how routes works. So let's say if this route exists on the URL, render this component. Make it active this monitor. So then you close our routes. Then you go to our navbar. You create a link for login. You just copy this and duplicate it. So waiting for our project to serve. I'm also waiting for the Firebase to install. My network is a little bit slow, so that's why our npm install is taking much of our time. You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much. So our project has finished compiling. We go over to our app. We say Firebase module not found. Okay, that's because it hasn't finished running. So I'll just comment this out. To avoid that error. So still waiting for pretty ESLint format to finish. So at this point, we are waiting for this formatter to finish formatting this our index.js and save our changes so that this error here can be out. I use two types of VS Code formatter, prettier and pretty ESLint. Prettier is for HTML, CSS, while prettier ESLint is for pages that I'm doing with JavaScript, so that if I'm writing a function that is not correct or some constants or other stuff, so it just highlights where I'm doing wrong so that I can correct that particular section. It starts me assuming I have 100 lines of code in this particular index.js now. I'll now start scrolling from up to down, looking at it one by one in order to get the particular past session where that error is coming from. But with ESLint, just point it out for you using a red line under it, telling you, okay, this is where you're having errors. But if you say CSS or HTML5, what Prettier does is it kind of draws a yellow line below you, telling you, okay, here is where you are also doing error too. But some reason, I don't know why that is taking time to save. Okay, now when we go to our login, we can see our login exists. So what we just need to do now is design our login page. What we need is a form. My VS Code is kind of slow because of network, so it's not auto-suggesting my tags for me. From or from, what am I spelling? From. Okay, correct. So input.
The second one is from, not from.
Thank you. So I will have a button, no, a link. Let me see how we import our link from React router. Router done. So here, just use the link to closing tag. button inside of our link. No, obviously, I think there is no point doing this because since it's a button and the button should be a submit button. So what we are going to do just in our script, in our function for this login is where we'll actually do the redirecting of the thing. So it's not here. Assuming this was kind of like we want, when you click on this button, take them to sign up. You click on sign up, you take them back to login. That is where we have used this. So sorry for that. What we just need here is just a button that just calls the Firebase function. So I don't know why this is taking time. What is happening in my network today? I think I will need to close this project and we'll open it again to see if this VS Code will pick up back. So let me just select it. If the delay will be out. So now just run npm start. So login with Google. So today, what we are really going to focus on is just creating of our login form, how to connect, create a Firebase project, and also how to connect our project with the Firebase. Then from the next class, which is on Thursday, then we'll actually do the writing of the Firebase login with Google Auth function that when you click on the login, it opens a pop-up asking you to select the email you want to log in with. Then when you select the particular email, then the pop-ups after loading and analyzing your email to check if it's a valid email address that Gmail recognized and all those stuff. Then it's after that, and that is done, it's just the pop-up disappears and then redirect it to this our admin dashboard, because that's what we are going to use. We are going to now log in from here. This admin dashboard now, I'm going to hide the link so that it's only when you log in you can actually access the admin dashboard. So basically today what we'll just be looking at is just creating of the login page and then setting up our Firebase project. Then for the next class being on Thursday, we'll now do the directing and other things. So now that our login page is being created, okay, now it's kind of fast. Wow. Okay, you can ask your question, Blessing.
Yes, my question is actually related to some of the classes that were held We don't have access to it. Like last week when Thursday's class now, I tried to check for it on
No,
YouTube. It's not there.
it wasn't a class. Like I said that on the group. It wasn't a class. Though
Okay,
it
it's just an
had, but it wasn't
introduction
a
and
class.
then
It was just an introduction I did, and again giving
because some
forum
of
for you
us
guys to ask
some of us
questions.
are
You see? Blessing. Okay, I think he's done. So last week class wasn't a class. It was just like getting you guys familiar with the whole Firebase concept and everything. And again to giving you guys forum to ask questions on um, various part of the classes which you guys are finding difficult understanding or you guys are still struggling with and all those. So that was what Thursday class was just all about. It was recorded from the beginning, but to a point it was not recorded. So that's why you guys don't have any video for that. So we have created our login with Google. Yeah, I will make sure that any class that was held that at least I thought the video will be there. I'm going to make sure of that, except for the ones that maybe just like the last week Thursday on. That's the one you guys can't find on YouTube. But anyone that was held that I thought a new topic or whatever, I'll make sure that you guys have access to that video. So now that our Firebase is being installed, so go back to our index dots, comment this out, save it. Okay, that is not for today's class. I will be doing the linking of the button to the Firebase pop-up on Thursday, which is after tomorrow and our next class. So that is where I'll be doing it. But for the code, I've already sent you guys the code to this, the link to this project, GitHub on Slack. I sent that to you guys. I think that was on Monday last week. So, was it on either on Monday or Wednesday? After the session, after we had some, the day we had a class in the morning, then in the evening of it, I was trying to explain further structure for you guys. So that was Wednesday morning. Yes, that was when I pasted the link on Slack. So you guys can go back to the date and you see the link there. Or maybe I will just repaste it again on the Slack. But for today's class, we are not going to look at how to connect the button to the Firebase Google yet. What we are just trying to do is just set up our project and see that our project actually recognize Firebase. So that is what we are going to do today. Okay, in our build, I think we have an error. Okay, I think there's an error inside our Firebase config. What error is that? It's saying you may need to appropriately load the handler. This file type. Did I not close something very well? this is our project secret key. So sometimes you don't need to expose it. And when you expose it and upload it to when you expose this and upload it, this your project, and let's say now this stuff are not commented, they are just like this, and I push this project now to GitHub. GitHub would send a message to our email telling you that your keys are being exposed. So in order to avoid that, because sometimes some hackers, or what will I call it, let's say this is actually a full app whereby via so you need to like have a .env file where you protect your secret key. So we'll be doing that hopefully next week as well, how to create a .env file, and then so that this our project can be. But if we are to create, let's say, assuming we are using a Vercel now to assuming we are using a Vercel
Hello everyone. Please, is it me or
share.
I can't hear anything again? No. Is it just from my end?
I can't hear anything also.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So where did I stop? What did you guys hear last? Please let me know so I will know where to start from. What did you guys hear about last?
We talk about TikTok and emailing about sharing your key and then archive, something to do archive. Yeah. And then also the thing about backlinks, yeah, coding backlinks. That's something that you do API keys. API keys, not exposing the API keys.
Okay, no problem. So I don't know why we are having this error now on my terminal. I guess because the Firebase have upgraded to version 9, whereby most of their features are now in kind of a hooks pattern, just like we know of React hooks. Where React Router version 6 also made use of hooks, whereby you import your use param and all the rest. So basically, that is also what Firebase have done as well. So I guess that's why I'm having this error. But on our next class, we'll be looking at how to use that, because obviously what we'll be using is the Firebase version 9. I won't be using the old Firebase version, so that you guys can be updated as well. So, but in order to connect your project to to Firebase, this is basically what you need to do. After you run the command, which is installing the Firebase to your project, the next thing you need to do is creating a firebase.js file, whereby you copy your config projects and then install it. This is it. You can copy this. So this is now, maybe you don't have an npm, is a CDM. So what you just need to do, just copy this entire, you can see scripts and this, and paste it in your index.html below your script file, or you can just copy this, your config. So and then initialize your config as well. So that is just, it's them. On the next class, we'll now be looking at the Firebase functions for logging. This on our doc fundamentals. Not fundamentals, I think is it overview? No. It's build. Yeah, it's build. So we'll just be looking at the Firebase authentication for web, signing with Google. So this is the part we'll be looking at how to auth Firebase, get auth from Firebase auth, and then do all this. So in this class, this is where we'll be stopping. You can see we have created our login. So at this session, we have been able to create our login form, though it doesn't really look cool, but we are not really focusing on designing and beautifying the app. We are just looking at the functionalities and all the rest. So on the next class now, we'll now be looking at how to connect this button to the Firebase authentication so that the purpose and all the rest can be out. Yes, after now, I'm going to push this code now so that you guys can see it and just connect Firebase to React app. So I've pushed the code now. So this is it for today's class. Any questions so far from what we have done today, where you guys did not understand, so that I can explain more?
Hello, ma.
I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I am actually thinking about something. Can this, I don't know, but can this learning be project-based so that we'll be knowing the goal that we are achieving? Or can we just, maybe when we are given assignments, can we continue from our previous assignments that was submitted so that we can add that feature to the stuff that we submitted earlier on? So I will just start.
Okay, I thought of that as of weekend. So from the next project or from the next assignment I'll be giving to you guys, we are going to start from project based, because where you guys have to cover from the beginning of the classes to this Firebase authentication. That will be on Thursday, is when I'll be giving the assignment. Hereby, you guys will create a website that takes a user to a dashboard displaying some information and all the rest. So that is how the assignment is going to be there. So that with that assignment, it will cover everything.
Okay, thank you.
Your former total and I have covered. Yeah, blessing.
Please, you have not done you have not completed the Firebase. And you are giving assignments on it. We must actually meet up the requirements of that assignment.
No. Like I said is after that Thursday class, I'll be giving the assignments when we have completed the Firebase authentication, yes. Not like I'm giving it before, no. It's after the Firebase. We have shown you guys how to connect it and also connecting the button to the Firebase. So that's when I will now give the assignment for it. So any other question? Any other question? Okay, in absence of no, so this is the end of the class for today. Thank you, everyone.